Hi friends, we are here somehow to choose our TBR for August. And that sounds insane because I feel like it was just January and then I blinked and now somehow we're like 3/4 of the way through the year. We will obviously be using the TBR fish tank. We're gonna choose 7 books. I have 2 videos that I know for sure I am doing in August. One of them, I will not know what books I am reading until I'm actually in the middle of the video. It's a brand new series. I'm starting it at the end of the month and it's gonna be like a sister to the Read It or Unhaul It challenge, or like maybe a distant cousin. But there is another video that I know I'm going to be doing at the beginning of the month, and that involves the 5 books I have stacked up here. So I'm going to try really hard to match the things we pull out of here with these 5 books. So let's cross our fingers. I'm going to put that book right there so you guys can't see anything. You're not allowed to cheat. But anyways, 7 books. That's it. I don't really need to do an intro other than that. Let's just get to it. Oh God, okay. I'm always nervous to do these. What is that? What does that say? Oh, it was upside down. Now what does that say? Was on a previous TBR. Oh, that would be so awesome if any of these... Oh wait, hold on. Let me check something. Oh, one of these books was on 2 previous TBRs. So the first book that I will be reading in August, hopefully, cross your fingers, is in fact Brimstone by Callie Hart. I loved Quicksilver. I don't know if I actually loved it, if it was just a sign of the times, whatever I was dealing with in that moment. If I needed a quick, dumb romantasy, maybe that was it. But either way, I really thought that I'd be getting to Brimstone right when it came out, but it came out, I think, last November. So it's been like 8 months and I still haven't read it. But fear not, I will be reading Brimstone in August. Although I'm a little bit nervous. I've heard that even people who loved Quicksilver didn't really vibe with Brimstone so much, which sucks because this is a fucking tome. This is like 650 pages of book. Do you need to know what this is about? Quicksilver is about a human who lives in this cruel desert world under a cruel desert queen, and she gets pulled into the Fey world, and there's a man called Kingfisher, and he's like a fairy, but he's like the hot, brooding fairy. It's like every other romantasy. I could tell you the rest of the plot and it would probably sound like 10 different other romantasy series. I'm going to be reading Brimstone. Thank you for your time. Okay, that was pretty easy. Can we get all 5 of these books on here with the prompts? Probably not. Is it gonna be that way? It's gonna be that way. Read her and weep. What does she say? Goodreads... There's no way. There's no way one of these... Okay, Goodreads chooses. So I'm going to scroll through my Goodreads timeline and I'm going to find the first 3 books that I see that I own and haven't read yet. And out of the first 3 that I see, I get to pick one of those. Why do I feel like this is going to be a bad thing? Oh no, you know what? It'd be bad if it was just the first one. I get to choose. I get some agency here. Okay, so we're here, and we're scrolling. And so far nothing I see that I own. Oh, okay. The first option is Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. 1 second. So that's our first option. Let's keep going. Our second option is the 4th book in the Bridgerton series. Our second option is the 4th book in the Bridgerton. I have read the first Bridgerton book, but I own the first 4 books. But like, I kind of assumed that I'd be getting rid of those. Okay, so Giovanni's Room, the second Bridgerton book. What is number 3? Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey. So our options are James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room, the second Bridgerton book, because obviously I'm not going to put the 4th one on if I haven't read 2 or 3, and Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey. Unbeknownst to you at this point, I think, I read Wild Dark Shore in July. Do I want to get to another Charlotte McConaughey right away? I kind of don't think I do. Not because I don't like Charlotte McConaughey's writing. The opposite. I want to pace them out a little bit more, so not this. Why am I actually choosing between Giovanni's Room and Bridgerton right now? I could read a book that I know I'm going to love, or I can attempt to read a book I know I'm going to hate, DNF it like 30 pages in, and then I'll be able to get rid of 4 books. No, I can't do it. I mean, maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll do that too. However, I cannot get Giovanni's Room as an option and then not put it on here. So actually, choice number 2 for August is going to be Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. Okay, number 3. I got a punishment prompt. I've never actually pulled one of the punishment prompts before. Oh, fuck me. Why are we doing this? Okay. Oh, it's a long one too. What the fuck? What does it say? Look well, read it. Put TBR book into what should I read next website and swap it with one of the recs. That is so far from the worst punishment prompt that I could have pulled. So I already know I need to read Brimstone, so I have to use Giovanni's room for this. So I'm going to find a what should I read next website. I don't know who the I was when I wrote these prompts. I've never heard of that before, but I'm gonna go find it. Give me 1 second. Okay, that was actually astoundingly easy. I just typed in what should I read next, and it gave me this website called meetnewbooks.com. So I'm going to input Giovanni's room, books like Giovanni's Room, James Baldwin. Yes, the first one that I see that I own and haven't read, that's the one we're swapping out Giovanni's room for. I don't own Maurice by E.M. Forster. I've never heard of it. I own On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, but I've already read it. Oh, okay. Swimming in the Dark by Tomasz Jadrowski. 1 second, please. So Swimming in the Dark by Tomasz Jadrowski, this is another book that I've been wanting to read for so long. And it's just been staring at me from my shelf asking, why have you not picked me up yet? And I'm saying, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. I don't know. Poland, 1980. Shy, anxious Ludwig has been sent along with the rest of his university class to an agricultural camp. Here he meets Janus, and together they spend a dreamlike summer falling in love. But with summer over, the two are sent back to Warsaw. Confronted by the scrutiny, intolerance, and corruption of life under the party, Ludwig and Janus must decide how they will survive, and in their different choices find themselves torn apart. So we have swapped one sad gay book for another sad gay book that I'm very stoked about. So I guess I have to put the Goodreads prompt back in here because we didn't actually use it and we only have 2 books for these 2 prompts. Okay, so we still have 5 to pull. By the way, that was like the best possible outcome for pulling a punishment prompt. One of them in here is buy and read Jake Paul's memoir. And I don't know why I did that to myself. So that was like the best possible way that could have gone. Number 3. What? What? Are those just lines? What? The blank of blank? The blank of blank. Oh, the blank of blank. The blank of blank. The blank of blank. Oh, there's one that I have to read that's in this stack. That's not the blank of blank. It's just blank of the blank. Am I allowed to switch? Am I allowed to switch? No, I'm not. No. The blank of blank. If Mad Sisters of Essie was called The Mad Sisters of Essie, that would be a perfect time for this. I found 3 options off of my immediate TBR cart. The first is too big. It's The Will of the Many. The Will of the Many. And it's just too big. There are a lot of big books that I'm supposed to be reading in August, and I cannot add an even fucking bigger one. The other 2 options I found are The Second Death of Locke, which is still a pretty fat one. And then there is obviously The Song of Achilles. And guys, guess what? I am putting The Song of Achilles onto the Oh, I have to tell you what it's about. I'm putting The Song of Achilles onto the TBR again. It has, in fact, been on 2 different TBRs before, just like Brimstone has. So maybe this month will be the month of finally getting to these books that I have made promises to and then broken those promises to. The Song of Achilles, if you somehow don't know, is about Achilles and his gay lover, and they go through war and they come back from war and they're sad, or maybe they don't come back from war. What? Little do they know that the cruel fates will test them both as never before and demand a terrible sacrifice. This is actually kind of perfect to be reading right after I finally saw the Odyssey. Hopefully it means I will actually be reading it finally in the month of August. Number 4. What? Those are just numbers. 201 to 300 pages. Nope. Okay, that does not fit any of the books that I need to be reading this month that I know of. So we're gonna go to the You know what? I'm gonna bring the TBR cart to you. Why did I do this? This is so heavy. These are the books that I hope to get to as soon as physically possible. For 201 to 300 pages, our options are We Burned So Bright by T.J. Klune, Volatile Memory by Seth Haddon, Lie With Me by Luc Besson. Wait, no, these are all under 200. No! Apparently I am page blind because every single fucking book that I just picked up to show you was between like 150 and 175 pages, so I clearly can't be trusted. I had a pretty difficult time finding something between 200 and 300 pages, which seems weird. I have a lot of novellas and I have a lot of over 300 pages, but like not a lot exists between those 2. But you know what does exist between those 2? The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard. And this is a fine choice because it means that I get to put some time fuckery onto my TBR because there's none so far, is there? That feels wrong. I don't like it. The other valley, if I'm remembering correctly, is about this valley, and there's a town inside the valley, and the town to the east somehow is 20 years back in time, and the town to the west somehow is 20 years in the future. Vice versa. To the east is the future, to the west is the past. If you were permitted to cross the valley's borders, which direction would you go? 16-year-old Odile vies for a coveted seat on the console. If she earns the position, she'll decide who may cross her town's heavily guarded borders. To the east, the same town is... Oh, it's the same town. Oh, f***. To the east, the same town is 20 years ahead in time. To the west, it's 20 years behind. The towns repeat in an endless sequence across the wilderness. Oh, shit. When Odile recognizes two visitors she wasn't supposed to see, she realizes that the parents of her friend Edme have been escorted across the border from the future on a mourning tour to view their son while he's still alive in Odile's present. Edme, who is brilliant, funny, and the only person to truly know Odile, is about to die. Sworn to secrecy in order to preserve the timeline, Odile now becomes the consul's top candidate. Yet she finds herself drawing closer to the doomed boy, imperiling her entire future. Yeah. That is exactly what I want to read. Cool. So The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard. Okay, 3 more. Have I been talking your ear off for an hour already? If I get another... Bitch, I was just saying, if I get another punishment prompt, oh, me. I've never, in a year of doing this, I've never gotten a punishment prompt, and now I get 2 in one video. I swear to God, if this is the Jake Paul prompt, I'm going to eat this piece of paper and pretend like it never existed. Does that say fucking Jake Paul on it? Tell me it doesn't say Jake Paul. Someone you trust hated. A book. Oh, interesting. It definitely doesn't say Jake Paul. Thank God. These are like the 2 least worst punishment prompts I could have gotten. A book that someone I trust hated. Perchance, could anyone I trust have hated any of the books here before me? Okay, so no, none of the books that are in this pile are any books that anyone that I trust hated, but that makes sense because there is a theme to all the books in this pile, and it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for people to hate these books specifically. You'll find out what that means in a few weeks, I guess. But you know who I trust. Do you know who I trust with my whole heart? Who I trust with my life? Peyton from Book in Hand. I trust Peyton. That is my love. That is my dear friend. That is my fucking girl. And guess what book she hated? Old Soul by Susan Barker. This was one of her least favorite books of last year. And so therefore, because Peyton, whom I love and trust to the ends of the earth because she hated it, I'll be reading Old Soul by Susan Barker. In Osaka, 2 strangers, Jake and Mariko, miss a flight, and over dinner discover they've both brutally lost loved ones whose paths crossed with the same beguiling woman no one has seen since. Following traces this mysterious person left behind, Jake travels from country to country gathering chilling testimonies from others who have encountered her across the decades. A trail of shattered souls that eventually leads him to Theo, a dying sculptor in rural New Mexico who knows the woman better than anyone and might just hold the key to who or what she is. Part horror, part western, part thriller. One man's quest to bring a centuries-long chain of human devastation to an end. That's crazy. I wonder if I will love it or if I will be on Peyton's side and I'll fucking hate it. We'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. I swear to God, if I get another punishment prompt, I'm buying a lottery ticket. No. What does she say? What does that say? Sun. Sun on the cover. I think there are 2 books in... Hold on. There are 2 books in this pile that I need to read in August. Here's a hint. I wonder if anyone can guess the theme of the video based on this. There's 2 books in this pile that have the word sun in the title, but they are spelled 2 different ways. Sun and sun. For this, I need a sun, S-U-N, on the cover, and guess what has a sun on the cover? That would be Tomb of the Sun King by Jacqueline Benson. See that sun right up here? Well, nope, there. This is book 2 in the Raiders of the Arcana series. I read the first book, Empire of Shadows, in my reading whatever the I want for my birthday video, and I have been thinking about reading the second book ever since. I cannot get it out of my head. I love this book series. I love these characters. I love everything about it. The first book, Empire of Shadows, is about a woman who accidentally comes across a map to a hidden city somewhere deep in the jungles of Belize. And then she has to team up with this guy, and they have to find the city, hopefully before the bad guys find it, yada yada yada. It's kind of National Treasure, it's kind of Indiana Jones, it's kind of The Mummy. It is a perfect book, and a perfect romance for someone like me who does not like to read romance books. And so now I get to read their second book, Tomb of the Sun King. Thank you so much. Whew, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is our final pull for the month of August. Okay, so only 2 punishment prompts. Thank God. Still no Jake Paul book. What? 10 book spinner wheel. I need to put together a 10 book spinner wheel. 1 second. In a beautiful turn of events, we get to have 2 of our beautiful sisters' daughters in 1 video. So I have made a spinner wheel with 10 book options on it. I'm putting the ring light right over the middle so you can't see it. I have on here the 2 purple ones and the 2 blue ones X'd out because otherwise there'd be 14 options, not 10. I have the 3 books that are still on my secret TBR that I'm hoping to get on here. These are labeled as 1, 2, and 3. I also have on here the summer book, Lie With Me, Agua Viva, Volatile Memory, Idle Grounds, We Burned So Bright, and Found Audio. One of these is going to be the last book of August. Are we ready? Well, no, that did not count. That was not real. Hello? Oh, you're a little too tight. Okay, here we go. This guy is a little bit broken. What did we get? Oh, well, would you look at that? Camera, zoom in, please. Nope, ring light. Camera, zoom in, please. That is Agua f***ing Viva, baby. Okay, the gods have decided that they're fed up with me because how much time have I spent putting off Agua Viva by Clarice Lispector? How much time? Too much. How many times has this been on the TBR? Apparently it's only been on the official TBR once in this game. It's been on my personal TBR 100,000 times. The final book I will be reading in August is Agua Viva by Clarice Lispector, and I want to make a promise to you. I am going to say to you wholeheartedly, I will read this in August. Okay? Look me in the eye. I will read this in August. This will happen. Finally. I cannot put this off any longer because I am fearful. I've been putting this off for so long because I feel like this 88-page fucking book is gonna change my life. I don't even actually know what it's about. I just have this feeling deep in my soul that the book will change my life. And so I'm scared. But guess what? I don't want to be scared anymore. So we're gonna fucking do it. I'm pretty sure that this is just 88 pages of musing on life. And we're gonna fucking read it in August. And so that is our August TBR. If you need a reminder as to what we just did, I was on a previous TBR and I chose Brimstone by Callie Hart. I chose something about Goodreads and I got Giovanni's Room, but then I got a punishment prompt, put a TBR book into what should I read next on a website and then swap it for a read. And it swapped it for Swimming in the Dark by Thomas Jadrowski. I got The Blank of Blank and I chose The Song of Achilles. I pulled between 201 and 300 pages and I chose The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard. I pulled a second punishment prompt and it said, someone you trust hated this book. Peyton hates Old Soul by Susan Barker, so I will be reading Old Soul by Susan Barker. I pulled Sun on the Cover and I chose Tomb of the Sun King by Jacqueline Benson. And finally I pulled 10 book spinner wheel and we spun and I got Agua Viva by Clarice Lispector herself. And so that is my August TBR, supposedly. There are a few on the ground. If you know or think you know what the theme of the video I was talking about, if you think you know what the theme of the video is that I was talking about earlier, take a guess, make a guess, let me know. But if you don't want to know, you will find out in a few weeks. That's it. That's all. You know what? I'm excited for all these books. These are good books. I have good books. Anyway, thank you for being here. If you can hear me, if you can read the subtitles, I appreciate you. I love you. I hope we're having a great time. I hope we're having a good July and I hope you're ready to have a really good August. I love you. Goodbye.